we can talk now?
Holas.
There's always a weird element of surprise with
Yeah,
Ronald.
always.
Like he's completely in another universe, not here at all in body or mind.
That happens sometimes.
So yeah, Ronald, just so you know, we are here to record episode 47 of the Movie Schmovie podcast.
Oh, man.
I'm one of your hosts, John. You are another of the hosts, Ron Nold.
Right.
Or Ron.
I go by many names.
You could drop the old.
Can I call you that?
Sure.
I can call you Ron Nold?
You
All right,
call
good.
me Ron. No.
Yeah, very nice. And another of our hosts, some might even say the host amongst hosts,
Right.
is Steve. And
Hey, guys.
He's here too.
Hello.
But as opposed to Ronald, I'm actually here in body and mind.
Right. I'm here. Oh, yeah. I'm present.
We got a lot to talk about.
We have a lot of movies that we've
have
all
two
seen.
feature reviews.
Two.
Wow, we're on the same page this week.
We are. Man, we are.
Air high five, guys.
We're
Up in the air.
insane.
Yeah.
That's our hand slapping. We're like three women in an apartment for a couple months. Our periods are in sync. Our emotions are there, so we're ready.
Our movie menstruations are synchronized.
On point.
We're gonna bleed all over this podcast. Is what we're
Oh
telling
my
you.
God, there it is.
Hello.
All right, so let's just get right into it. Like I said, we got two feature films that one came out last week, one's coming out this week.
Right.
That we, like John said, we all saw.
We did.
This is the first in
We did.
the past month or so. We've been on different schedules, but now, like you said, we're all lined up. So
We are.
the first one we're going to jump into is Ben Affleck's new Affleck. That should be a sound cue. You got to get that.
Please tell me that wasn't what you were waiting to deliver.
No.
Okay, good.
His new film Argo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I think in general has opened a very positive reviews actually. Along the festival circuit, it's gotten a lot of positive attention, and box office is pretty good. Not on par with, I guess, what he did with The Town, which is a little more action.
Right.
Got a little different audience, but I think this is the kind of movie that's going to really hold over well in terms of word of mouth, especially among the demo that it's going for. But I don't know. What do you guys? What were your either expectations, thoughts? I mean, I don't know how you want to jump into this because
It's a heavy duty story. So I guess the first thing I was thinking about was, can Ben Affleck take on such a heavy duty subject? It's like the Iranian Revolution and a lot of tension going on because of the Shah that got taken. He's like in exile and in the United States.
Yeah, basically under United States protection.
Yeah, and protection. And the United States is protecting this guy that the Iranians believe is an evil person. And
After we sort of set him up in the first place.
Yeah. So because of that, Iran is intensely angry at the United States. So the U.S. Embassy, is under attack, and some people escape, and those people are kind of taken away to a Canadian. Canadian embassy? What do you call
Well,
this?
the Canadian embassy there were Canadian ambassadors that were letting them stay in their home.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So it was like never an official thing that the Canadian embassy was condoning or doing. But
right. So these guys are there, and somebody has to get them out of Iran safely. And guess who's coming to the rescue? Tony Mendez, epic beard. Man, can we talk about that fucking epic beard? Forget the story for a second. How sexy was that beard?
it's impressive in my opinion.
It was impressive, man.
It makes me want to be a better man.
I feel like he wrote
I
the story around that beard.
I think John's beard is kind of.
It is.
It's kind of in the same ballpark.
I have the sort of like I'm working on the crazy old professor type beard though. Ben Affleck was very well put together in this, and
he could have easily
Very well kept.
He could have easily fought crime with Shaft.
like his hair was beautiful.
Amazing.
It was amazing. It's
God, Ben Affleck.
shimmering. Just very sexy, man. There's something about Ben Affleck in this movie. I think he does that a lot. It makes me uncomfortable that he does that. He's like, I want an epic beard if it's going to take place in the 70s. And I want to say as many epic things as humanly possible. And I think that's how he writes his scripts. But I think the one thing that I really enjoyed about this in general was just the idea that Ben Affleck is a certain type of actor, a certain type of writer, a certain type of director was kind of shattered with this movie because it's such a big idea that's kind of tackled. And I think he tackles it amazingly. I can't really say anything bad about how he tackles the scale of this and the stories creatively that he the angles that he takes creatively to kind of summarize everything that's going on in a way that's not boring.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the ideas. So what'd you think about it?
Honestly, I mean, I thought it was great. I mean, I had a lot of expectations for it. I think when you guys were talking about the lead in to what the story jumps off at, one of the things I loved about the movie was those opening credits, the animation that they provided to kind of give the backstory for, the average person that may not know a lot.
Yeah,
just to kind of set it up for you.
And it also played out like a storyboard.
Yeah, and it looked really cool. I mean, it's almost like you see, it looks like something maybe like you just said, is like maybe done in pre-production or something like that, but they actually put it on the screen, and it's very entertaining. It's, it's quick, it's to the point, and it sets you right up to be dropped into the middle of that, the Iranian people just basically taking over the embassy. And, we kind of pick up with the younger American workers that basically escape and, like you said, get to the Canadian ambassador's home. And I think one of the things that I think with Ben Affleck, I guess, in the lead, I mean, I don't think he actually wrote this film. It's a different screenwriter. He directed it, okay. But I mean, it's the first time you kind of see him step out of the whole like Boston. He's done a lot of stuff like in terms of writing or even directing with like Good Will Hunting and with The Town and Gone Baby Gone.
Yeah, those are all very Boston.
Yeah, it has like this powerhouse of what he knows really, really well, and you pick up on that immediately in all those films. And you have a certain sense of like authenticity and a love and passion for that setting. I think what you pick up from this movie is a passion for the story a lot. And I think the story just being declassified not that many years ago. I'm not sure of the exact year. I know it says it in the post credits, but
1997.
1997. So 5 years ago or 15 years ago, this story just coming to light. I mean, this is things that movies are made off of. Like, it's something that somebody could make up for a movie, but it's real.
Yeah,
and and I think the passion that went into the screenwriter, Chris Terrio, and I think George Clooney produced the film along with Grant Heslov. Like, this is a lot of real quality coming out of this movie. The performances, obviously there's a huge cast, a lot of great performances from not just, I think Affleck is like the star of the film, but I don't think he's a star of the film in like what I took away from the moments that I remember from the movie.
I did find myself at different times wondering if a more expressive actor were at the center of this movie, if it would have just been the difference between good and great for me.
Yeah.
I don't think he was bad, but I think he, to kind of go back to something we talked about a couple of weeks ago with regards to Looper, I think he's a Bruce Willis style actor in that he can do very little and seem credible. And I think that in this movie, it was basically just Ben Affleck saying, the entire performance was like, just keep a straight face. It's like I was on the verge of checking my watch a couple times, but I never did. And then when it does get to the last sequence or two where there is some legitimate tension and there's that kind of clockwork precision, I thought that stuff was really good. And I almost was getting irritated with how nervous it was making me.
Dude, I was going to say this, those last like 20 minutes of the actual extraction, I would say, like when I mentioned before, it's not like the action movie The Town is. I mean, I was far more tense in those last 20 minutes of the movie than any moment in The Town, or really for most thrillers or suspense films that I've seen.
Well, because it's so tangible.
Recently.
It's so specific. Like,
yeah. I mean, and you just have a sense of like each little thing that could go wrong or that almost goes wrong. You know exactly like how quickly that's going to be dealt with. That this, this mission could completely go down the drain by one little detail or one little snag. And actually, that's what I was going to bring up. Like, I thought the last 20 minutes of the film, I mean, by far for me, I was really into those moments. And I mean, that's really had me stressing out a lot, even though I knew from researching a bit that, how this is going to end. But I think that's a credit to, to direction, and to the way he handled those moments. And, I think everything you said about Affleck is true. I mean, I'm actually a really big Affleck fan, but I see what you mean. Like, he is somebody that, he does have I don't want to say like a template he kind of settles into with films, and he kind of just adjusts a little bit so it looks like he's doing something.
Right.
But I mean, I guess maybe the thought crossed my mind, like maybe if somebody else was in there. But I almost then, like I said before, I almost wonder. I don't know that I would want to totally be really invested in that character. I think he's our compass for this film. But I mean, he's kind of providing the direction of where we're going. But I almost like got more into the hostages at times and like how they were handling it, or some not so well, some just kind of going with whatever they were told to do. Like Tate Donovan's character, who was like the, the leader of the group, I guess.
Yeah, you kept waiting for one of them to mess up or do something that really screwed everything up.
I was paying attention to like their little their little intricacies and like their little ticks in the relations between the two groups that were husband and wife, and like how they were riffing off of one another, and the one group that kind of resisted initially to go along with this plan, and how that would completely throw it off. And one of those guys is the one that actually ends up saving it, apparently.
Yeah.
That was very predictable. That bothered me. Actually was one of my complaints. I have two really big complaints. That was a little predictable.
What is that?
The husband.
It's a familiar development where you take someone who's kind of the most antagonistic and the least on board with the plan, and then you show the moment where they kind of click into the plan. It didn't really bother me, but I
knew that was going to be the thing. The problem was they did a couple things to set up that whole idea. He knew the language. They kept talking about that. He was the most resistant to the idea, and it was just only natural that campy moment would come where he would be the person that kind of ease the tension.
It was almost like a much lighter tone than I was expecting. So to me, what you're calling campy, I thought was just kind of cute and funny enough that it was fit with the tone.
Also, the other thing that bothered me was like, I kind of talked to you about this.
Yeah.
Something about the fact that there was no side to Iran besides the villainous, almost animalistic sort of aggression that all the Iranians were showing. There was like nobody in the movie that was like a lighter side to that. Nobody was like...
What about the girl that helped them escape?
She did for that one time. That was it. That was like one character out of like all those people. And that kind of bothered me a little bit.
Yeah.
Mostly because the whole idea of what the Middle East is to people now is a little strange. There's layers to this. There's layers to like things that America's done to, those countries that have made people the way they are.
I thought it was pretty fair in the sense that you saw what the problem was. Like it definitely seemed like a mess that we made for ourselves. I
see it too much. I think that's.
I agree with you in the general sense that when you see a Middle Eastern face or character in the movies, it's almost always a terrorist.
It's that one girl though. That one girl was the only person that. I mean, I guess you could say the people that let them go through that weren't like, they look American, kill them. That was cool, I guess, but it's just something about crazy Iranians, crazy Middle Easterners never sits well with me, man.
I guess the perspective I would just try to I guess I had or to keep is that like this is the story of. Of the extraction. It's not the story.
Yeah. I'm not saying
it's a snapshot of it.
Right. I'm not saying like of course there were people that wanted to destroy them. Like that made perfect sense to me. I guess sometimes like with there has to be a balance besides those two characters that may have shown a little bit of humanity besides that. Like it just, even when I watch Homeland, there's some people in there that are like, a little less.
Well, they'll Homeland and 24 will like introduce a Middle Eastern guy and show you how normal he is before you find out he's a terrorist.
Sure.
I just want to see a normal person sometimes.
They weren't. Yeah.
That's. It.
I do think that it was like it didn't have time for that. Maybe the fact that it was a pretty for this subject matter, if they wanted to do the whole hostage situation, or if they wanted to do more of kind of a big picture.
In the beginning, they were like all right, let's talk about the first act. The first act could have been cut down just a little bit. The whole like building to the creating the movie thing went on for too long to me.
I think the problem with that is what I was saying before is that from the trailer that it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So it's you sit there kind of going, okay, when are they going to okay it? Even though I found all that very amusing and I like all the actors that were involved, and I thought the interplay between Bryan Cranston and Philip Baker Hall as the guy who finally does approve, the one who's like, is this the best bad idea you've got?
Right.
Oh, yeah,
There were a lot of great character actors in that stretch, and I thought John Goodman and Alan Arkin had a really nice like rapport with each other.
Yeah,
so I had fun spending time with those characters.
It felt very like in a way, and I'm not making fun. It felt very like Ocean's 11-y. The way it kind of fell together, and it was done in a way that I actually thought was cool. So it's not
apparently that whole like ending is just all sensationalized. Like I was like reading all these articles
Really?
about where the movie kind of like had some.
Well, I was wondering about that.
Took some liberties with
Right.
I think on the whole it's extremely accurate. I think that's the consensus. But I mean, I think they took certain parts of the movie that they knew they wanted to play out, which obviously we're talking about this last 30 minutes,
Yeah.
which is very effective.
Well, that felt the most movie-ish.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and,
it did.
and
It
they,
was like,
and they
what-
did apparently like, build that up. Apparently, the actual exfiltration is like, it went like clockwork. Like it was no issue at
It was
all.
like no trucks chasing them.
Right, at all.
Well, they kind of
that's really-
they kind
that's
of
really amazing
made
that
an issue out of no issue, but it pretty much works.
I don't want to see that's the part. I don't want to give away.
Yeah.
But there's something weird about the aggression that was shown to get to the point where they were chasing, coming down to the wire, and how they just were like hesitating at that point. For example, if you were running away from me and I broke down doors to get to you, I don't think I would I'd be like, you bastards, and shake my fist at them. I would
Well, what are you going to do? Shoot at a plane?
cut it down. Yes. Come on. I mean, if that's the type of aggression you were showing to get to that point, you're like, oh, gotta get to the door. Break the window. Like, I would, yes. I would have shot that shit up, man. Come on. Like, that's when they started to get like, oh, maybe we shouldn't do this. Shoot that shit down. If that's what you wanted. I feel like there would have been Homeland, they would
You're
have shot
saying
that
it's
shit
like
down.
the Duke
Homeland,
boys.
they would have shot
The Duke
that
boys
shit
just
down.
jumped the General Lee like over a pond, and Roscoe P. Coltrane has skidded to a halt on the other side of the pond. He's out of his car and he's throwing his hat at the ground
Yes. Literally is how that
and
felt
saying,
to me. Like,
"Consarn it!"
Guts!
Yeah, no, I know what you're
Damn
saying.
Americans.
You're right about that moment. kinda
Always
playing
being
that way.
American and slick and smart. Outsmarted us crazy savage terrorists. That's how it felt, man. It felt very weird at the end. Like that shouldn't be like if that's what stops you, you should stop being a terrorist. I'm just saying. That wouldn't stop me. I'd be like,
So you're saying they were terrorists?
that's how they were portrayed.
That's what you just did.
That's how they were portrayed, basically. Like
I hate when all these Iranian people were made to be terrorists, but if I was a terrorist at the
no,
airport,
but I'm
I
just
would
saying,
cut that plane
that's
down.
the way they were.
They're
that's the-
revolutionaries. Ronald.
Okay, they were revolutionaries that were going to chop those Americans down if they got to them. Basically, that's all I'm saying.
Point taken.
That's all I'm saying.
I liked the film a lot.
It was
Yeah, bottom
it was-
line.
I think it's going to definitely be a movie that's going to hold well. I think a lot of people will see it over the coming weeks, and I mean, I'd recommend you checking it out. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is the movie that sticks around a little bit and has some awards conversations.
it's saying that. Here's the thing: this movie's budget was $44 million.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
The movie's budget was $44 million. It's about $20 million right now. It's not going to make that money back.
Oh, it absolutely will.
You think so?
Absolutely.
I don't think it will.
I'll put $20 on it right
I
now.
don't think it will. I don't think
I
it will,
could
man.
see it having a better. I could see word of mouth really helping this movie out and having a really strong second weekend.
It'll make it in.
I bet you it only drops 30% this weekend.
It'll make it in DVD sales.
I don't know. This weekend, guys, the juggernaut
Oh.
that is Alex Cross is coming
Oh,
out.
are you
Mr.
talking
Tyler
about
Perry
Mr. Tyler
himself?
Perry?
Holy crap.
First of all, can we talk about his hair in this movie?
Yeah, I remember we wrote about that when the trailer first came out on the blog. I don't understand what.
Well, I just want to
mindset
say
was.
that finally they kicked that no good Morgan Freeman out of this role, and they found a real actor to
Right.
play Alex Cross.
Right.
Man,
Oh,
no
man.
interest.
Yeah.
P.S. Matthew Fox looks ridiculous.
I
He
in
know.
the
looks
trailer.
like right. He lost a lot of weight for it.
Oh man, Matthew Fox. I just think there's something that seems intense and it's a little scary and a little
Right.
bit off about that guy.
Yeah.
He Cuba Gooding'd his career just now.
You think so?
Oh man.
You think just being in a movie with Tyler Perry?
It's not just
I think he was Tyler Perry, not Cuba Gooding.
It's not just the Tyler Perry thing. It's the type of movie it is.
Yeah.
It looks very straight to DVD.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're trying to push this like it's a movie theater release makes me sick to my stomach. And it's
Well, I mean, you have Tyler Perry. That's
Ooh.
marketing right there. But also, like Rob Cohen directed it, and he's like a big action,
Right.
like Fast and Furious, and I mean, he's like a big gun in Hollywood. So that's how it got to theaters.
Okay.
No interest. Okay. But otherwise,
I'll probably-
I'd say check out Argo. You know, if you're looking for the drama, suspense,
Mm-hmm.
a little bit of action. On the other side of the coin, now in theaters this weekend, is the new entry in the Paranormal Activity franchise.
based on the Paranormal series. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, did you see at the end
Number
of
4.
it? This movie was based on Paranormal Activity by Oren Peli.
Yeah.
Which is just the first time I've seen that
I've never seen
happen,
it
where
before.
it's like a sequel. They're telling you it was
Like on the
based on.
story.
They never even did that
Yeah.
with Saws, and that surprised me. Like I've never seen that in a movie that was a sequel.
Yeah, based on Paranormal Activity
I did remember seeing that at the end.
Yeah.
by Oren Peli. Yeah.
Yeah. So that
As though we didn't know.
That's
Oh,
a-
this is Paranormal Activity
Shit,
4.
It's
I get it.
Oh wow. They all kind of come together.
There's that number
okay.
after the name. Don't tell
You
me
know
there's
that's there just to kind of. Was it in the beginning too, or is I talking
was
about
just
the
a-
end?
I can't remember. I think that was
I
just
think
in
at
there
the end
once.
they have
Yeah.
it there just in case you don't know
Just
that
in
it's
case
like
you
a
forgot.
series.
Right.
It's like this reminded me a lot of these other 3 films I saw.
Right.
And they throw that up there and that just puts it together.
Well, because I remember I was thinking that activity that I just saw. I don't know if that was Normal Activity. Was that Normal Activity or not?
No, I think it might have been
Oh,
Paranormal.
Paranormal.
I
that
think-
explains
I think
it.
it was for the people that saw like Raid Redemption and like this is the redemption. This is the 4th one. What?
Yeah, right.
What does this mean?
I think it's also just like that's a really weird thing to me when I see that happen a lot with filmmakers that like have that hit. And then I feel like, he's like a nobody when Paranormal Activity comes out, but now this is his like bread and butter.
Right.
So anything, even if he's not even involved with it anymore, like I don't know, he's maybe an executive producer on the
Right.
side. It's like I gotta have that name on there. I guess that's a bit of ego thing, but that
Yeah.
always bothers me a lot.
so
Like when
strange.
So I don't know anything about part 2 and 3. I can only say how I felt about 4
Okay.
after seeing 1.
Okay.
And please tell me that more has happened in these movies other
Yeah.
than just
Yeah.
big boobs walking in and
Right.
just walking slow and standing behind somebody and then pushing them.
She's
It's like 80 minutes of nothing happening and then a little something happening. I don't know. I just
There were
find
a lot
that
more
structure.
jump cuts in this movie than any other paranormal I've seen, and it's funny. The jump cuts were used as a device.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And I think that was cool. But what I guess what I've been thinking about a lot, and I talk about this movie constantly. Record is one of my favorite found footage movies, and Record 2 is one of my favorite sequels because it takes the whole idea of how it was presented the first time, found footage, and then it reinvents itself and has another perspective in the second one. So I guess the biggest challenge is 4N. Has the perspective been changed enough to entice us to want to see it?
Mm-hmm.
You can't really tell from the trailer, obviously, but is it enough to keep us entertained while this movie's going on? And I guess that's my question I'm posing to you guys.
I would answer that no.
Right,
I mean, I'll be honest,
right,
because
right.
I actually was a
Thank
really big
you.
fan of Paranormal 3, and I thought it was better than the second one and on par with the first one.
Well,
for
they
me.
did something interesting in the third one that they didn't do in the first, second, or fourth. And that's when they shifted from the found footage thing to just showing a little
just
bit of movie.
content happening.
There's not much to reveal about this movie, but their explanation of why the cameras are constantly filming in this is just from a technological standpoint. It just doesn't hold a lot of water. It's just really fishy.
Yeah.
And if you know anything about computers, there's Steve hit on it in his notes. We were talking
I
about
think
this
we both
already.
wrote the same thing down.
It's a storage issue.
Yeah.
It is a storage issue.
Infinite storage on,
Infinite
on
storage.
MacBooks. Not a standard feature.
Basically, they're using the built-in camera on a MacBook to record all the actions in the movie, and the suggestion is that there's this network of Macs around the house that are all filming all the time, and that somehow all the footage is being saved to her computer, and she's just viewing it kind of at her
in
leisure.
QuickTime format. One
Yeah.
of the densest formats that exists.
Yeah,
And it's just loading this stuff up from 11 days, 8 hours each, right?
Right.
Probably about 8 hours. More than that, because they're doing all day pretty much. That's crazy.
I kind of felt like it got a little lazy too.
It did.
When
it got a lot lazy.
No, I mean like from the other films, like I think the device in this film that's the X factor, the new thing is the chat recording, all that stuff. In the third film, one of my favorite parts of the Paranormal Activity 3 was the fan cam.
Oh, yeah,
If
the
you remember
fan
in the
cam was
kitchen, there's
beast.
an element in the film where they actually the boyfriend ends up like rigging this fan on an oscillating fan, and it's like panning back and forth
See, I didn't see that one. So
through the living room and the
yeah.
kitchen, and it's really effective. It's creepy as hell because it's literally like the reveal. It's not stopping, and you're going back and forth, wondering the next time he comes back, what are you seeing? And it was very deliberate in what it revealed each time it would span back and forth. I think its counter in this film is the idea of having these chat conversations that turn into let's just leave it running and film everything.
Yeah.
And that didn't. I felt like that was really lazy to me. Like it didn't give me any sense of the person actually holding anything and being on the other side of this camera capturing something.
Right.
Which some of the other films, even though they have moments where they mount it and it stays there and nobody's really on the other side, there's also a lot of parts where somebody's running around with something.
Yeah.
This movie
you're
had
right.
that in the beginning, but then it stopped. As soon as the boyfriend set this up,
It's almost like once they
that's
found
it.
a way to basically say, we've found a way to have cameras switched on in every room,
Yeah.
and now we don't have to explain it. It was like that was what the whole
Yeah.
eyesight camera or built-in computer camera, that's what that whole thing was leading to.
Exactly.
Rather than dealing with the kind of scary implications of you're in a live chat with somebody and something freaky happens behind them. Maybe you see something they don't, whatever it is. Yeah, no, you're right.
That would be scarier to me.
Right.
Yeah.
The boyfriend on the other end, I mean, everything that they reveal in that footage is just like in the first 3.
Mm-hmm.
They're going on to it after the fact and they're reviewing it and they're like, oh my God, rewind that. But if it was happening in real time, that would be so much scarier.
And then there were some amazing things that happened that they didn't seem to review or ever comment on as well. Like that was another thing that kind of struck me as strange was that certain things, like there's an episode with a knife that you would think would have been noticed in the footage. I don't know. I felt like it was very...
he didn't bring it up.
They just used it for convenience. I mean, it's
the piece in the middle of the film, or I guess the second act, where a lot of that stuff goes unnoticed. They only really mention it quickly, but I guess you're supposed to buy into the fact that he's like, remember he said he was going to like Mexico, so he's away. So she doesn't know how to review this footage.
Oh, okay. They did.
You know what I mean?
They did make a point of that.
Yeah. So like that's why she's like trying to get him to tell her how to do it, and when he finally does come back, he's looking at it himself. So a lot of those things that we see, like with the husband and like with the mother, and even things like with that connect element, which we'll talk about in a minute, you don't see them acknowledge it because she doesn't know how to look at it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's what I was trying to keep in mind because then he mentions that he's back from Mexico and kind of come over, and that's.
I mean,
But I mean, let's face it. That formula where they go to the title card and it says night 1, and then you hear that you get the date and you get the time, and then by the time you get to night 10, night 11, you totally. I mean, the formula of these movies is It's an annual release at this point. It's what Saw used to be to the genre. They know that in October there's going to be a big opening weekend probably for this type of thing. I think all they have to do is come up with just enough that's new, just enough of a twist on it, and they kind of justify the movie. And having not seen the other two, I can't say whether they came up with a new twist. I can say that for me, I felt ripped off in the general. Again, not that I was expecting it to be something that just had this amazing story in it, but I do think they kind of have. They've come up with this genre where they can basically have no story in a certain way, where basically they can have bumps in the night and they can have all these suspicious scenes that kind of add up. But in my mind, I don't have a clear picture of what there's demons involved or ghosts involved. I kind of know a little bit about it.
That's the thing.
But I don't understand why the mechanics of this particular haunting, like what the advantage of... like if there is some kind of entity behind this, I don't get what their plan is, the way this story unfolded.
That stuff was revealed in the third one. Yeah. So here's the problem with the fourth one completely. Like the reveals in the third one furthered the story along. And in this case, the reveals that they had didn't push the story along enough for there to be another one, really. The third one...
Oh, there will be another one.
Yeah, the third one set the kind of pace of what it was, and the problem was it didn't expand on that anymore. So one of the bigger reveals in the third one is that there's this big seance that's going on at the house that they go to. Right? Is that the same house? That's the same house, right? Where they go to the. I think it's the same.
I don't know.
One.
I mean, I think you're supposed to assume maybe it is. I don't know because this took place in what was it? New Hampshire or Nevada?
Yeah.
Which one was it? Did you guys remember?
Well, that's where they drove, right?
To the grandmother's house.
The grandmother's house, which was
you'd have to check that one. I mean, I think the third one is really good.
It's really good
because it's a prequel. It's a prequel,
Yeah.
so you kind of get set up with like why the things that happened in the first one happened to that girl specifically, and that's where you're supposed to pick up with this one when they say. That the little boy in this film is actually the baby that it would be in the second one. It all pulls from the prior three, but it doesn't add onto it.
No,
you know,
not at all.
we see that. Okay, well, this is the kid. Like Wyatt is maybe this kid Hunter that is taken in the second film by the girl in the first film, and the third one tells you why it was that girl.
Yeah,
and this one is like, okay, well, we have these pieces.
Right.
And it's like I bought into it with the third one. Okay, so she's across the street, and the boy's there. The baby that is now a grown kid named Wyatt is there, and they see all these cars there.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean,
That's literally it.
Yeah.
And then he kills. Nothing happens. I'm just saying. Oh, so that's.
Well, you would know somebody gets killed. in
Yes,
this film.
obviously, but I guess the weird part about it is when all the stuff took place, when everything went to shit in the third one, it was for a reason.
If this is some kind of demonic entity that's working to get this little boy back, why go about it in this way?
Yeah, that's
and what the reason for that is. Like, again, I don't want everything to necessarily be explained, but I like with this type of film to be able to explain it to myself.
yeah. Well,
You know, I like to be able to walk away and come up with an explanation
If
that
this
works
thing-
for me. It doesn't have
Don't
to
you
all
think
be.
you're asking for a little too much, John?
Yeah, right.
Let's be honest.
if this thing,
But you know what I'm saying? I like to be able to connect the dots after the movie and go, oh, maybe that's not how it had to happen,
Right.
but that's a way it could have happened. But
Right.
in this, it's like on top of thinking that the found footage kind of filmmaking was kind of lazy in this, I found the story to be almost non-existent, and any moments that were good were just good because of, you know, the general scare potential of what was going on around the house. And even that, there were only a few moments that were legitimately scary,
Yeah.
you know?
that should
And
be.
I thought also that as far as in things that worked about this, I do think that some of the performers, like there were pretty much likable actors in the movie.
All the acting I thought was pretty cool. I didn't really like the kid Robbie across the street. I mean, he's kind of creepy, but I didn't think, in comparison to the other young boy who plays Wyatt, I thought he was great.
Yeah.
And the relationship between the main girl, Alex, and her boyfriend, Ben, I thought was awesome.
Yeah,
I mean,
they
I
were great.
totally bought that. I mean, that felt real, you know.
Like she was a believable. They didn't make her like an annoying teenage girl
Not at all.
stereotype, but she did have typical teenage kind of quality. I don't know. She was a believable kid, and
Yeah,
Ben
yeah.
was a
She
believable
was
kind of
not-
smart ass, boyfriend. But he was
Yeah.
likable and
Absolutely.
yeah.
That's another thing. The little kid Robbie came across like an asshole,
I don't know who we're supposed to think Robbie was.
right?
Yeah, I mean that's one of my biggest criticisms. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it makes sense.
I think you're supposed to assume that maybe that's just another kid that's a part of this whole.
Was Wyatt the kid? Hold on. So was Robbie the kid?
Slow it down, Ron.
Okay.
Old.
Was Robbie
Just slow
Wait,
it down.
all right, the
I'll tell you right
seance.
now, Wyatt
The seance. Okay.
was Hunter from Paranormal Activity
Okay.
2.
I get that.
Yeah.
Now, Robbie, was that the kid that killed everybody at the seance? Remember at the seance from the third one?
No.
There was a kid there?
No, that was not him.
That was
that took place. That took
Holy
place
shit.
20 years
What the-
before.
Who the hell was that then?
That's what I'm saying. That's what John and I like.
Oh.
I think what I took away from it. I'm just trying to connect an invisible dot here, but I'm assuming that you're supposed to say, okay, all these people, women that are involved in this witch seance stuff, it's another kid. Like it's another whole series of Paranormal Activity movies.
Right.
This
Okay.
one's about Katie and her sister and Hunter, and that kid is just another boy from this whole line of what this demonic piece is, which you don't know, John. I mean, 'cause
Yeah,
it's in the
you-
third
I'm
one.
So
They explain it. They explain it.
exasperated that in order to make sense of this, I'm going to have to watch another
Yeah.
one of these movies. But you're saying
the third one. The
The
third,
third one's really good.
It is.
Honestly,
It
it's
has
the most
some-
actually not the most profitable of the series, but
Yeah.
it made the most box office. I mean, and that I think the third one being as good as it was, because I have a feeling if that film was this film, it wouldn't have made a fourth one. You know what I mean? Because I don't think it would have held over as well.
Yeah.
But this one has. I mean, I guess they'll continue to make them because it's going to be huge.
This was.
I mean, this franchise has made over $500 million.
This is the.
You know what I mean?
you think this is the one to beat this weekend? Then you think this movie is
Paranormal? Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
You know what this is though?
Absolutely.
Oh man, I predict this is Saw 3. This is Saw 3.
See, that has nothing. That means nothing to me.
Okay.
Fuck Saw. I'm done.
So
I never
hold
was
on,
a fan of
hold on.
Saw.
Just
Excuse
bear
my
with
language.
me. Bear with me. The first two, really well done.
Not
I
true.
think.
Don't listen to him.
Okay. The
kidding.
first two Saws were pretty
The,
solid.
the first one, I will admit, I like the idea
first,
of it.
The first two.
See, that's another
follow-
blind spot for me. I never saw a Saw movie.
Really,
Saw?
the first
I never saw Saw.
The first two, oh my goodness, they went well together.
Mm-hmm.
This feels like the first three were like the first two of Saw, and then it became just about murder and puzzles.
Yeah.
And it was a little more than that in the first two. And I think that's what's happening with this movie. It got diluted in this whole idea. It's almost like when you play, it's a really weird comparison, but sometimes you play video games of movie franchises like James Bond. And what it becomes is like just a man running around shooting.
Mm-hmm.
When the person doesn't realize that it's about the prestige that comes with being an agent, the story surrounding it. It's basically what happened to this series. As shallow and as shitty as the idea might have been, found footage stuff, at the heart of it, the soul of this movie was the story that drove it and weaving that story through some of the reveals of the found footage. That did not do this in this movie, and it became painful.
There's zero reveal.
There's zero reveal.
The only thing that you might take away from it, but I don't think the trailer really hides it, or if you know anything about the series, is that, about Wyatt and, being the kid from Paranormal Activity 2.
Right.
The baby. But I mean, I don't think that's a big enough reveal to say I'm deeper in this mythology now.
That's even weirder, but like all right, if she stole him, right? The whole idea is she stole Hunter, right? Mm-hmm. She stole Hunter, and what did she give him up for adoption after she?
Yeah,
stole him?
that part didn't make sense to me either. And now she wants him back.
That makes zero sense. She kills the parent, and was it the third one or the second one?
Second one.
Kills the parent, takes the baby, walks away. You're like, where the fuck did that kid go? And this kid was given up for adopt. She snapped out of it.
She takes the kid and with no expression slowly walks away. I'm so tired of the slow walking.
Just left him in front of an adoption place and was like, take him. And
then tracked him and made sure she bought a house across the street from the family that adopted him
that
or
makes
something.
Absolutely no sense.
Yeah, that's a piece I don't know. I mean, that's a plot hole.
Yeah.
I got no answer for that.
Man.
I got some
plot.
other thoughts, but I mean, that's weird. I mean,
that stumped me the whole time. I was like, how did that happen?
And this is the conversation that tells me that this film is
shitty.
I'm not going to say it's shitty, because what I want to say is that for fans of the franchise, if you're in the franchise, they're going to probably go and at least like it. Because it plays it safe, because it doesn't really do anything new, but it plays it safe where it hits the points of why people like the film. Like with the scares and, the fact like we talked about right after the movie, like I find myself, they had a really cool new element, like where they incorporated the Kinect gaming system and how it detects, the motions.
That was so smart. I thought that was
the
cool.
users, and like, through infrared or night vision on the camera, it can record it. And that's one of the cameras that we're monitoring. That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was really cool. Especially initially when it's just very vaguely showing things, suggesting that we're seeing something. I'm like, did I just see something? Because I'm looking at the screen so intently, looking for something in every corner of this huge screen in the movie theater. That's what these films. That's what this film, this series, plays to its strengths in every film. Whether something else has been added, which in the third one I think there was, we'd agree.
Yeah.
What it does well is those scenes where literally, the title cards maybe are a bit overdone and they get old after night 6 or whatever.
Yeah.
But
well, it makes you feel less like you're watching a movie, and like I was saying this to Ronald before you got here, Steve. But like, it's a roller coaster ride. It's not even. It's not even really pretending to be a story.
Yes,
it's not even pretending to set up expectations that it's going to be a story. And so you're sitting there. I mean, part of the experience of watching this movie is being bored by it almost.
Yeah.
And being tricked into watching dead air and kind of, when it's working, your eyes are scanning the frame for any kind of little detail on what might be moving. And there were a couple of jumps that got me in this movie, but it's all atmosphere and almost no ideas as far as my perspective.
Well,
that's correct.
That was the cool part about the third. Like it shows that, and then to break up the monotony, they travel to this house, and then after that, after they get out of the car, no more found footage.
Yeah.
And that's what gets weird about it. You're like, whoa, this is different. And that didn't.
Well, I get sick too of looking at found footage because of the way things are framed. Just it's one
lazy.
More thing that format buys you is you don't have to set up really nice looking shots. Yeah. And there's all these shots where someone like. I guess to sell the conceit of the way the cameras are capturing stuff, they'll just have someone will get cut off right above their chin or something, and it's just, again, I know that is part of the format, but it's yet another way that I kind of feel like the filmmaking is just completely absent. These movies, they do seem really underdeveloped in the visual sense.
They are.
And I think after a while that seems like a crutch, unless like it's a valid stylistic thing.
It feels like I saw this Behind the Actors Studio with Spike Lee, and Spike Lee said that music videos are the worst thing that ever happened to cinema because people expect these quick cuts in between scenes and stuff like that. So what happened a lot of the times during this movie was I felt like, you know, when they were like angling, when they're like going around and the camera kept following them around in the room.
Yeah.
Sometimes that took away from the scariness of it. Sometimes I liked when it just sat in a place and then revealed stuff. Mm-hmm. And after a while, once the angles, once the like excuses for switching the camera based on like camera phones and stuff like that, and camcorders was kind of taken away, it became so monotonous that it almost became unbearable. Mm-hmm. And then the jump cuts were just so you didn't kill yourself, basically. Yeah. So you didn't say, "Oh fuck, I'm leaving this movie," and it just got kind of boring.
Well, it used that kind of cutting scenes off when they didn't seem like it was so arbitrary that there were times where it really seemed that, oh, we need to get this exchange in there. We need to get her asking Wyatt why he has that drawing on his wall or whatever, or asking what's going on. And it's like it would just cut to a scene where, you know, she's walking into her brother's room, she asks him a question, he answers, and then the scene ends and goes to another scene. I mean, it works within the concept, but if you think about from a writing perspective, how just completely lacking that is. Sure. I don't know. It started to really wear on me. Sure, and I do. There are still a couple of moments. You know, there's a moment with a piece of cutlery that is pretty good for some tension, and there's a great sense of when something happens, and you know the rhythms of these movies. You know something is going to happen. There were a couple of beats where you're just waiting for something to happen. And you don't know when or how, and those moments were pretty good. Yeah. But as far as that goes, I'm beginning to wonder if maybe that's just like a dumb animal trick. I mean, like almost anybody can surprise you with that sort of thing. Like it doesn't necessarily mean that a movie, like I don't know if there's anything about this movie that will stick with me. Even the way some horror movies that aren't that great will still have an image or two that just haunts your dreams. You know, this really didn't have anything.
I think all these films like have a really good sense of humor to them, though. I mean,
yeah, definitely.
I think that's one thing outside of like, I don't know, like the found footage and the scares and all the tension that we're talking about, like you monitoring every corner of the screen. Mm-hmm. I mean, all the films have some sort of sense of humor to them, and I think this film actually is probably one of the better ones of the four, in my opinion, mainly because of the boyfriend and girlfriend. I mean, their interplay is really good. I mean, that's one of my positive takeaways from the film. Like I said before, I think that people that are fans of the series in general are probably going to like the movie.
Right.
I don't think it adds anything to the story, to the franchise, to the mythology, which I was hoping it would, especially because the filmmaking duo that made Paranormal Activity 3 made this one as well. Based off how successful both commercially and critically that one was, I don't think this one is going to be anywhere near as critically well received. I mean, it was weird that the third one got really good reviews.
I remember the word of mouth being really solid on that one.
Yeah, it was weird.
Is this diminishing returns at this point?
That's exactly what it is. That's what I was telling my girlfriend when we left the theater. I mean, I feel like that's my takeaway is that it's whatever to me. Like I'm happy I saw it because I mean I like the other films even though like they have their flaws, but it has the sense of what Ronald said. Like even though I wasn't a fan of the Saw franchises, there's a moment in these series where that was the at if not maybe the best it was going to get. That's the point where it starts going down, and it's a very steep slope. And I think that's what I unfortunately took away from the movie because leaving the third one, I was like, wow, they just kind of blew this open to so many cool possibilities, and it didn't deliver. The last shot of this film, you see a moment of like with all the people in the backyard, like. That reminded me of what maybe could have happened from the third film. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But that's it. And it's alluded to twice in the film. Once by a lot of cars being in the front and the second to last scene of the movie. And that's it. And I think that's a huge missed opportunity. So it kind of disappointed me.
Something very telling about this movie. So I'm looking at Paranormal Activity on IMDb. The average score, 6 out of 10. Paranormal 4 just came out. And it's already at a 4.4 out of 10.
Yeah.
So normally it's higher in the beginning and then it gets a little lower. It's 4.4 now. And
the only time you see that reverse is when it is some kind of word of mouth situation. But usually a movie that's got a 4.4, word of
now.
mouth is not going to be that strong.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right.
So
And I think that's a good point. I mean, I'm glad you pulled that out because I mean, the third one. I don't know. Did it tell you? Do you see what the third one was? Is it on there? I'm not sure what source you're using, but I mean,
six out of 10, and it was 39,000 people.
this is IMDb.
Yeah, IMDb.
Okay.
I'm sorry, IMDb rated.
No, I mean that's a good point.
I use IMDb over Rotten Tomatoes only because I think that more
People are on it.
people are on it, and
Cool.
so.
But I don't know. Fans of the series, maybe check it out. Otherwise, maybe watch a different horror film. If you're looking for a scary movie this holiday season, check out another, one of your favorites or something that a friend recommended
If you feel like you don't get enough chandelier action in your movies,
If you think
these
this is going to be like the third one, though, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, I don't know. That's pretty much where I'm at on it. Anything else to
Yeah.
throw in there with that? I think we could have
No, I think that's
pretty
it.
much talked it up.
I think that's it. What about the last movie we saw? We all saw this movie, right?
What's that?
Chernobyl Diaries.
Oh yeah, we saw it independently.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, like in the same time frame. It was
Yes.
weird. We had the text conversation going back and forth, like, "Whoa, they're watching at the same time I am."
Yeah.
You would think, yeah.
We should have Skyped or something.
It was
guys,
a
and, like,
harmonic
watched together.
convergence.
We should've.
People,
I chatted it up.
three men, different places, watching the same movie at the same time. It
Right.
must be some kind of great cinematic event, some kind of achievement
I could not wait
that
any
is
longer
gonna.
for.
Oh boy!
Oh,
I mean, it was.
couldn't be more wrong.
You know, I
We're
thought
talking about Chernobyl Diaries. I don't know if we said that yet. Did we?
yeah.
Okay, good.
Chernobyl Diaries. Chernobyl Diaries. Chernobyl Diaries. It's a.
I like what you called it in our text conversation, Ronald. It should have been called what?
Oh,
The Chernobyl Have Eyes.
the Chernobyl Have Eyes, which actually what it felt like.
It did. It did.
It got so weird.
Yeah,
like,
Chernobyl has eyes.
it
Except
shifted.
it hadn't with no third act. I mean, let's okay. So
what
Chernobyl
was the third
Diaries is the story of some teens or college age kids that go on like a little bit of extreme tourism when they're in Russia, and they get taken to Pripyat or
Pripyat.
which is a city, a ghost town, and that's true. I read into that a little bit. It's true, and there's also really a Ferris wheel there, which I thought was kind of strange.
That's cool.
Which was an image in the movie, and it's a ghost town that was, because this town is very near the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, and after the meltdown, it was evacuated, and so basically it's a town that was evacuated, and it's just a snapshot of what it once was. It's overgrown. All the apartment buildings and complexes are abandoned, and there's still stuff in there. And like there was a quote. Yuri, the tour guide in the movie, says, "Nature has reclaimed its rightful home." And I do think that's kind of. I thought that suggestion was kind of cool, and I think that when the movie starts off. I had to do the accent, guys. I hope you enjoyed that.
That was,
yeah.
dude,
That-
gave me chills.
That
actually,
reminds
man.
me also like Weeds.
I'm going to do a one-man show of this movie, and I'm working on the Yuri character right now. But like this idea of nature having taken back over, I thought that suggestion was kind of cool, and I thought this sort of nods to wildlife and what's happened with wildlife. I thought that was really pretty cool. Like there's a pack of wild dogs that's actually pretty scary.
Absolutely.
And what I noticed about it was. This started off being a pro for the movie, being that I was about 45 minutes into it and nothing completely stupid had happened yet. And then when it got to be about 55 minutes and I was like, well, nothing completely stupid's happened yet. And then it got to a little over an hour and I realized, the reason nothing completely stupid has happened yet is because nothing has happened yet.
Right.
And I mean, that's a bit of an exaggeration. There's some stuff that happens in the middle of the movie that definitely gets fucked up quick. But outside of having a great idea and a great location, I mean, when I say great idea, I just mean this environment is set up to just give you the creeps. Like everything about it is creepy, and there's so many different directions it could have gone. And it's like it's not even a Hills Have Eyes ripoff in the end. It's sub Hills Have Eyes because at least in Hills Have Eyes you get some sense of the mutants and what they're doing. But this movie just completely left out anything that would have given some definition to what was really going on.
Yeah.
And it just kind of petered out.
It was like a. It was like a little kid planting things down in a story. Like, so it played to every little stereotype of a scary movie. It had a little kid scampering around. Then it had animals.
Yeah.
Then it had weird mutants. Then it felt like too much. Like it should have focused.
It had
on
an
one thing.
armless and legless mutant living in a tent.
That was weird. Well, one thing that made me feel
another one of those movies with an armless, legless mutant living in it.
Another one of those.
And he's surly.
When they showed the little kid, I felt like it felt like one direction, and then when it started to get into the mutants, it turned into something different for me. Like, and then the last act. The last act was like,
what last act?
Yeah.
Did I stop it early or something?
Right.
Did I download the wrong version of this movie?
The second and a half act. Yeah. It felt so uninspired.
Yeah. There was literally nothing to it. I mean,
I like the idea of someone being someplace and then pan out, you were always here.
Yeah.
What? You know what I'm talking about? Like when they went to like, so there's a part where like they talked about this section of the area that was just off limits.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah. Like the reactor.
The reactor portion.
The actual like Chernobyl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was weird. The fact that they were like running around and then they panned out and they're like, you are in the reactor. That was weird to me. Particularly since it didn't seem like they went that far for it to be like that. And then it just felt shitty to me. Like the whole, like I said that Paranormal was shitty. Now this movie was shitty. Like this movie was.
See, I thought this movie had. I can't say that Paranormal Activity ever really had me. Back to what I was saying, just the structure of it doesn't really feel like a movie.
Yeah.
With Chernobyl Diaries, I definitely had that feeling of this, at best, is not going to be a great film. But in terms of what it was supposed to do, atmospherically, in terms of the look, even in terms of the performances and the actors, I mean, it's like they weren't the greatest batch of characters, but they were believable. So I don't know. I would almost put them in the same department of movies that had enough going for them for me to not just hate every minute of them.
Yeah.
But that in the end, they felt like I felt ripped off by both Paranormal Activity 4 and Chernobyl Diaries.
I thought Yuri was okay. So without
their tour guide Yuri, the Russian,
I thought he was great.
And I wonder how often. Like, I think that had to do with just that actor brought a lot to that role. He wasn't written to be much, but there was something about that character that was...
I thought he was involved in the whole shenanigans.
He did seem to know more than he was letting on.
It's like, oh, the goodness, the car is broken. Like, that was very...
Yeah, like, and he felt that, like, that warm, or that just had put out fire. And, like, he kind of knew that there was maybe shit going on out there, and... So by the time he was like, let's get out of here, that's when it was like, oh shit, the car's fucked up.
The cost, you know what else I
felt bad for him because everyone turned on Yuri at that moment. And I wanted to say, hey guys, Yuri clearly didn't do this on purpose. Yeah. Cut Yuri some slack.
Really funny about that movie to me. Okay, so the character Chris and his brother Paul. So Chris was like the character that was like the innocent guy with the girlfriend.
And guess what, Ronald? His brother's a little bit different. His brother's a little bit more extroverted. Yeah. And kind of a different sort of guy. Yeah. They have this sibling thing going on. I don't know if you picked up on that. There was a little subtext there that the two brothers don't get along too right. They're kind of different.
I thought the funniest thing about this movie was when shit got tough, he turned on his brother so quickly. Yeah. You're the biggest piece of shit. Fuck you. Yeah. You never helped me. Mom hates you. He went on this tirade that was so intense. For the moment, like I feel like he immediately betrayed his brother. Like just on I don't know, that was weird to me. Okay. But I enjoyed it. It made me laugh so hard though. I literally
Did either of you guys realize that Chris was played by Jesse McCartney? Do you know who Jesse McCartney is?
That was Jesse McCartney?
Yes. I looked this up during the movie. Like the pop singer.
Yeah, I was going to say,
that was Jesse McCartney.
Darker hair now, and he's had like a bunch of top Billboard hits. I guess he's now an actor.
Okay, here's how old I am. I saw that name and knew that I was supposed to know who that was, and thought, is that guy a singer? I'm not sure, and that's as far as I got.
I had to look it up because I'm like, he looks really familiar, and then I was like, asked my girlfriend, I'm like, who is that? And actually, I was IMDbing his girlfriend in the movie, who was hot as hell.
Yeah.
Oh, Boobarella.
Boobarella, yeah. That's actually that's her stage name on IMDb. No, I'm just kidding. And I came across him. I was like, holy shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Jesse McCartney.
Very weird.
Overall, honestly, dude, I had nothing going into Chernobyl Diaries. I didn't absolutely hate it. Yeah. Last 20 minutes, horrible. Didn't do anything for me past that. But like you said, John, like up to like 45 minutes, 50 minutes, and I was like, I actually like this movie.
Yeah.
You know, like this could go really cool.
Well, because of the setup, the fact that you've got you kind of predict that there's going to be some kind of radioactive mutant or a person that's been living with this radioactivity or been living near the reactor and being affected by it.
Like looking at someone in the face and being like, everybody from this town left. Doesn't make any sense. Like everybody left? Really? Okay. That's just very strange.
Well, that part's true.
That's true, dude. That's what happens.
But I guess in the setting of the movie, like if someone were to tell me that every single person decided to leave, I would think that there were some stragglers. Even when it was like Katrina, it's just some people that hung back. Like somebody had to like hide in the crevices or something like that. And that the whole idea was these people.
Well, let's keep in mind this was 20 years ago.
It was 20 years ago,
or 18 years, whatever.
Which means that there would be less caring for these people.
Ronald, there's a movie coming out soon about the people that stay. It's called Beasts of the Ukrainian Wild. It's going to be coming out soon. And that's about the people that stay, the mutants that stay behind and try to rebuild.
Right. So the faces of these monsters.
They're not even faces. It was just like,
you know what it reminds me of? Do you remember? Have you ever seen the
I mean, it's pissing me off the more I think
Zone
about
episode?
it, how underdeveloped that movie
Twilight Zone episode where like pig face people were.
Oh yeah, where it's like where the whole thing is like the woman's getting, she's so ugly, but it's actually that she's beautiful and she's in a world of ugly people.
Right.
Thing. Yeah.
That was how it looked. Like it was that poor. Like that was like, what was that? 60s makeup.
You know what I think we unintentionally did with this is we tied this movie into Paranormal Activity because this was actually produced by Oren Peli.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Way to go, guys.
Yeah.
That just hit me.
Bombs over Baghdad.
Didn't mean to interrupt your pig face.
Yeah. Oh man. But the face is just
we're getting good at this.
60s. Very poor.
I don't even remember what they look like. I mean,
right. I feel like I think that every time we saw one of the mutants, they were being shot in such a way to conceal what they look like that suggests at some point we were going to see more or we were going to get more of a picture. And I think it's really just, it's at the very end when you find yourself going, oh, I guess that really is the end. You know, it's like it felt like the end, but when it went to black, there was a split second where I thought, well, hopefully there's more. Because that didn't seem like a movie. And then it really was over.
You know how, what was it? What was that? The one with the big monster. Wasn't there like an outbreak scene? What was it?
With what big monster?
The big monster in New York.
Cloverfield?
You remember the outbreak scene where like they like everybody got isolated?
Yeah.
It felt like it stopped at that part.
Yeah.
You know how like there was more story to that?
Yeah, well, that's the other thing is that what happens at the end almost makes no sense. I mean, you can intuit, you can use horror movie logic to see what they're trying to do at the end. They're trying to make it that kind of bleak, surprising ending, but it just is one more thing that doesn't really add. I don't know.
No, it didn't at all. Like why did the government only get involved the last 10 minutes of the movie?
Yeah,
it was like that part. Like they did no effort to really check that, but no soldiers monitoring the area. And then at the end, they were just like, this is where they kick in. This is where we hide her.
End of the movie, guys. Let's move in. Let's do this thing.
Let's wrap this up.
Yeah,
90 minutes.
Yeah, we're at 87.
Grand conspiracy.
Time for the twist.
So weird.
Well, that's another option for you. Maybe not.
Yeah, I would say not.
Yeah.
It's definitely time for Halloween.
Literally, it's been around for, I'd say, the past month, though, to see.
Yeah. If you seek it,
don't seek it on Redbox.
Yeah, check it out on Netflix one day and just know that the blonde doesn't remove her sweater at any point.
Yeah.
So if you're watching it for that reason,
because those jammies are popping out at some point. You see her running around. They're like,
I'm disappointed.
I looked at her filmography, and she's in a film next year called Dumbbells. I thought maybe it was a biopic or something, autobiographical.
We're trying to build up our female audience, right?
Those silly putties going around there. I'm just saying, look, she was very pretty.
I don't know. What was that?
Leave it up to me to turn a beautiful body part into something. Just...
All right. We need to wrap this up. We're getting on the tangent now. We can continue after we hit stop. So, in recapping, Argo, I think collectively we've all pretty much agreed. Definitely worth checking out.
Worth seeing.
Solid movie.
Yeah.
I was a big fan. Paranormal, maybe not so much.
Yeah.
I'd say for fans of the series, if you want to see the next one, go for it. Otherwise, maybe rewatch the first one. Or in John's case, go watch Paranormal Activity 3.
Yeah.
Chernobyl Diaries, save your time.
Yeah, after seeing Paranormal Activity 4, I can recommend that people see Paranormal Activity 3 as well.
It's got to be better than that, right? But yeah, do you guys have anything else you want to throw in?
No, I think that's it, man.
All right, cool. Well, we'll check you back later. I think we're going to be planning some like a special horror film coming up.
That's what they say.
It's heartbreak after heartbreak with the horror movies lately. So
these newer ones.
We got to talk about some good ones. Yeah, got to talk about some.
So
good
we'll be
ones.
doing that next episode.
I think that's the plan.
Yeah. So be sure to check that out. No, Ron and I, we did one last year of some of our, I think, all-time favorites, but I think we're going to focus a little better this year and have a better discussion about it. So that'll be the next episode.
Yeah.
And, thank you guys for listening. Always hit us up on the moviesmovie.net, moviesmovie@gmail.com, iTunes, Facebook. What else? Mixcloud. Always there.
We're all over the place.
You just got to find us. We're hiding. You just got to find us.
Yeah.
But as always, you made our day. And thank guys for listening.
Bye. Good night.